Thanks for listening to Mike Douglas, Michigan's retirement coach.
And I'm Heather Branch here with Mike, asking for his insight on the things you can be working on now to better prepare for your financial future. MyLifePlanFinancial.com is where you can go to start the conversation with Mike and his team about your retirement savings plan. Of course, we have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or, again, visit us anytime at MyLifePlanFinancial.com. Summertime is your favorite time. I mean, in Michigan, you can't help but live for the summer weather after dealing with the many inches
We
of
get
snow.
what we get, and we take it and love it.
So we're going to talk vacation planning today, and how it all correlates back to the idea of the bigger picture. I mean, the ultimate vacation. Is retirement, should it not be like the ultimate vacation that we're all planning for?
It's like summer break.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending summer break.
Never-ending summer break. So
my daughter just asked me the day, she goes, what's your favorite part about summer? And I said, the weather.
Yeah.
She goes, what else? I said, that's it. Because as an adult, I don't get summer break.
Right.
So, what's great is sitting in my conference room looking outside at how nice it looks. That's what's great about summer.
Thinking about my 4 kids enjoying the beautiful summer weather while I'm sitting here in the conference
I get home
room.
and they're like, we're tired from swimming all day in the pool. And I'm like, forget
Tough
you guys.
life.
I've been.
You don't have problems. I don't want to hear about it.
That's right. Yeah.
When it comes to planning for summer vacation, people looking for more of a budget-minded and yet carefree vacation may lean into the idea of an all-inclusive resort.
Yep.
And the idea, of course, is you pay one price up front. And so you get your room, you get a lot of resort amenities. For a lot of people, it's a bonus that you get all the food and drink. I mean, for you with 4 kids, I have to wonder if using an all-inclusive is a budget way to go for when you've got 6 mouths to feed. Does it help that like all the food's already paid for?
I think sometimes it's a budget thing. Other times it's a convenience thing.
Right.
So Kimberly stays home with the kids.
Yeah.
That's her career. And so when she does that, she's making breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. When I'm home, I chip in with dinner and all that. But she's constantly preparing and cleaning up from and working on and all that.
Never-ending kitchen, yeah.
And then you go on vacation, and if you're not at all-inclusive, like let's say you get an Airbnb, and we love doing Airbnbs. You have to go track down or make your own food.
Yep.
Every single
Same
meal.
way. Yep.
If you go to a regular hotel, track down or make your own food. And again, sometimes just going to restaurants, but that's just like, well, now we got to get cleaned up and go to a restaurant, this and that. All-inclusive resorts, sometimes it's a matter of schedule. Like when we go to Mexico, we're taking our kids to the Dominican Republic here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We go to these places, I don't want to spend, like we're in Dominican Republic for 5 days.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend any portion of those 5 days thinking about what we should do about food, thinking about what we should do about cleaning up or anything.
Right.
I want someone to clean my room and make my bed. I want someone to make our food and clear the table.
Yep.
I want it to be a true vacation because at home, that's the grind. And so there's a benefit there. Sometimes it's more expensive. Like you can get a better deal sometimes doing an Airbnb and going to a grocery store and all that, but you're working.
That's right.
So
you pay for it one way or the other. You're either paying money or through your own personal labor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get that. This interesting point about the all-inclusive resorts, though, there was a travel writer talking about how first-timers often make the same mistakes, things like not researching before booking. I'm assuming that has to do with the value of the deal that you get because not all inclusive resorts are the same. Not realizing that they can upgrade to a suite with better perks because sometimes things like maybe a suite on a suite level will get you added amenities. So the room itself might be a little bit more expensive, but you end up getting all these other things that it evens out or maybe even saves you money because you don't have to pay for.
They bring snacks to the room or different things.
Right.
Yeah.
Not making dinner reservations extra early. This is something that my husband and I learned the hard way. A few years ago, we went down to the Bahamas, Baha Mar, and we didn't realize that at that resort we needed to make dinner reservations, and we were almost in trouble because the restaurants fill up fast. Mm-hmm. The whole idea about first-time mistakes is an interesting conversation because for people, I mean, goals when you're planning retirement and when you retire, the idea is you do it one time. Yeah. So anybody that's retiring more than likely is a first-time retirer. If you're having to retire again, that means you didn't do it right the first time. And that's a whole other podcast that we need to get into.
Right.
So this idea of first-time mistakes, I think, plays into the conversation of the work that you do as well. very easily.
Yeah. Well, you think about the benefits of the all-inclusive, like we talked about, is that you get to relax while everybody else takes care of everything else.
Right.
That's the whole goal.
Yep.
I want to go somewhere where I do what I want to do. I'm on vacation. I'm doing what I want. If I want to go golfing, swim, snorkel, do whatever, you do that. Someone else is in the background working. And someone else is preparing the things that you will need even before you, like at 1 p.m., you're not thinking, man, I wonder what I'm gonna do for dinner. You're swimming. And about 4:30 or 5, you go, hey, I'm getting kind of hungry. Well, good news. Someone has been cooking for 2 hours preparing for this moment. That's an all-inclusive benefit. Well, in the same way, your retirement works the same way. There's things that we're trying to do. We want to travel. We want to remodel the kitchen. We want to go golfing or snowbird or do all these different things, go up north for the summer. And all the while in the background, we need to make sure that Social Security benefits are covered. We need to account for taxes, make sure that withholding is done on everything. We need to build tax strategies, not just for what you're taking out, but also how your money will be taxed in the future. And a comprehensive thing that says year by year, do we know how much we're paying in taxes? And should we adjust that one way or the other? The withdrawals we take, are they affecting our Medicare premiums? Are they are going to cause our Medicare to become more expensive?
That's an interesting point. How withdrawals can affect your Medicare. Those are the little things that I think why it's so important when even if you DIY'd your savings plan your entire working career, when it gets to retirement, it's such a different ballgame and all these little things that can come into play that you had no idea about.
Yeah, it's like the questions you don't know to ask yourself.
Right.
I don't realize how this over here affects that over there. Like, I don't understand that because I don't do it every day. I've been on the line at GM or I've been working for the state or Michigan State or whatever. You're doing your thing professionally in the same way that I don't have a clue how when my car's being fixed, how the different things interact with each other.
Right.
Like I don't have a clue when they say, well, you got this problem. And as a result, you had this. I have a friend who just was down in Tennessee on vacation and they're driving their car through and they have an issue. They limp their way to a mechanic and he says, well, you blew a rod. And they're like, oh, okay. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, and it's like a pretty important part. And again, I'm not going to pretend like I fully understand what the rod does. Okay. But unfortunately, he was telling me the story and he knows more about cars than I do. So he's saying it. I'm going, yeah. But like, I guess when you blow a rod, if you're not careful, it can wreck other parts of the engine, like the cam or whatever, all this stuff. He starts going to all these things. And this guy's not a mechanic. This guy is a professional services guy. But he's relating to me what the mechanic said. And I'm just like, whew.
Sounds bad.
I don't know at all what you're talking about. But, it's kind of like the hip bone connects to the thigh bone or whatever. Like all these things work together. And the mechanic knows, well, because of this, I need to look for this to just in case, because this could cause these other problems. In the same way, a financial plan, if I take money from here, how does it affect am I going to have to now pay taxes on my Social Security? Am I now going to have to deal with a higher tax bracket? Am I going to have to deal with my Medicare premiums going up? Planning down the road, we want to do this kitchen remodel. We want to do this thing. All right, what are the best places to pull from? Because so much of financial education is spent on accumulation and the growth of your money. But yet when you retire, it becomes less about accumulation, more about preservation of the assets you've saved and distribution of the assets you've saved. Because you want to live this life, you want to do these things. Right. And I don't want to have, I want to find out after the fact that I took from the wrong account and it caused these unnecessary taxes. Right. I just want to live my life. I want to be out swimming while someone else is preparing the meal. And that's what we're talking about. A financial plan is a financial meal, and it's what sustains you through your retirement. But having someone else there while you're doing what you want to do. Yeah. Someone else is here working. Someone who still has to go to the office is there working, doing their job so you can enjoy life. That's what a retirement plan looks like, especially a holistic one that's all inclusive, that covers all these different areas, because your retirement is more complicated than just, well, I have this 401k or I have this IRA. And people all the time, they'll bring in like a folder with statements and they'll say, here's my retirement. And they set it down. I'm like, that's not retirement. Those are accounts. Right. Your retirement is what you want to do with your days, what you want to do with your life, and who you want to impact, how you want to influence the world, whatever it is that you want to do. That's retirement. This is just a tool. These statements are just a tool to get you where you want to go or to get you doing what you want to do with whom you want to do it. It has nothing to do with your actual retirement. And I think there's a good separation because people see their value in the market value of their accounts. Right. Versus, and that's kind of letting the tail wag the dog, versus instead, we want to have a plan that says, here's who I want to be in retirement. Here's what I want to accomplish. Here's where I want to go, what I want to see. But here's what my identity will be in retirement. And as a result, let's build portfolios and plans that cover all the bases, all inclusively, to take care of that. On our website, mylifeplanfinancial.com, there's a button that says start your retirement roadmap today. And the reason we chose that verbiage on it is because anytime you get, in a car to go somewhere and you go to the GPS, you punch in not where you are, you punch in where you want to go. What is your destination? And so we start with the end in mind. And then once we know where you want to go from that conversation, we draw a map that works all the way back to where you are today and says, here's the next steps. Here's your first turn. Here's your first adjustment. And so we go from there. That's an all-inclusive plan. So on the website, there's a button, start your retirement roadmap today, mylifeplanfinancial.com. Just click the button. We'll gladly have these conversations, but start building towards your all-inclusive retirement plan. We
also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to hit on your idea of first-timer mistakes to avoid, because there's lists here we could look up. You can internet search all the different ideas. But according to Mike Douglas, especially thinking about folks that you work with, because I have to assume the majority of the people you meet are first-time retirees. Yeah. So what would you say if you were to list out 3 to 5 points of first-time mistakes that you would want? It's like, okay, if you take nothing else away from this podcast that you're listening to or watching, these are the 3 or 4 or 5 things that I would say avoid these first-timer mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 1, don't go into retirement without a plan. Plan gives you permission. Plan gives you awareness and education, right? So a plan is just saying, comprehensively, here's exactly what your accounts will look like month by month the rest of your life. Here's the taxes you pay every month. Here's your estate plan, all of that. This holistic model. That's the first thing. I think people treat it too much like an account, like I have this investment and that's whatever.
Right.
The second one is deal with taxes. Nobody wants to talk about taxes. Taxes are very important in the plan because you live in the net. You live in what you get after taxes. And if you want to remodel a kitchen, your builder is paid in the net. They're not paid in the gross. If you want to take vacations, you got to pay in the net, not in the gross. So you have to understand the effect, all the different decisions you make on taxes and how it affects other sides.
Okay.
The third one I'd say is make sure you're invested appropriately for who you are, not for who you were, and not for who the advisor is. Because a lot of times they say, well, I'm moderately conservative, so I've got this blend of 30 to 50 funds, and they should work themselves out over time. Well, that's just an easy way to manage it as an advisor. But instead to go through and say, all right, Heather, tell me about your family. Like, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to live? And then build a portfolio out accordingly and risk only what is going to be beneficial. And yet at this phase of life and retirement, being less risky, more beneficial. That's the model. So it's not about the return on your money so much as the return of your money. Sometimes you just want to wake up and see the accounts be even. So that's appropriate risk. I'd say those are the big 3. And the fourth one, don't avoid a legacy plan. You have to build an estate plan, and people don't want to talk about dying, but it's important because I have the government rip away a bunch of money unnecessarily.
Right. Again, mylifeplanfinancial.com is our website. If you have questions, if you are getting ready to become a first-time retiree and you want to take all of your accounts and turn them into a plan, Mike and his team are ready to help you get to work on that. mylifeplanfinancial.com. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there.
Thanks for listening to Michigan's Retirement Coach with Mike Douglas. To learn more, visit mylifeplanfinancial.com.
Michael Douglas is an investment advisor representative of Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Michael Douglas is licensed in your state, please call 517-323-7526. Stewards Wealth Planning, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Michael B. Douglas, NPN number 9650939.